Some people have dozens of internet-connected devices in their home or office, but most don't run antivirus or any other security. I'm Tonya Hall for ZDNet and Tech Republic, and joining me is Einaras Von Gravrock. He is the CEO of CUJO AI. Welcome, Einaras.
Thank you. Awesome to be here today.
What does CUJO AI do, and what problem are you trying to solve?
Well, CUJO is a network security company. CUJO AI works with big network operators, service providers, basically the people that you buy your internet from your house, for your home. And our job is when you're at home, when you're connected to your router, when you're about to click on that link, our job is to make sure that whatever happens next, you're secured and private. In other words, we attempt to block malware, bots, phishing links, inbound and outbound threats against your network, threats against your IoT devices. Generally speaking, CUJO AI exists to protect you from the bad stuff on the internet.
What do today's mobile operating systems lack when it comes to endpoint security?
Well, so historically, there's been two approaches to securing home users. There's obviously been endpoint security, which is antivirus. Now, if you think about your own home, you probably have 15, 20 devices. Guessing your job, you probably have more than that. The only one device you can install antivirus on is your PC, your laptop. You can't do it on your iPhone. You can't do it on your iPad. Never mind your cameras. They do not allow for third-party software. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is the wide area network. To your point, what operators have controlled historically. Problem with doing security just there is you get not granular data about your home. You get sort of this mesh of big data that's very hard to untangle and understand, especially in real time from a cybersecurity perspective. So what CUJO does is we've developed AI algorithms, machine learning algorithms, that we place on your local area network, or in simple terms, your router. And there we analyze behavior patterns. We look at, we apply threat signatures, we apply real-time threat intelligence, and we apply other sort of models that together make up a holistic firewall. And when packets start traveling through your router, we look at a sliver of those, basically packet headers, to identify whether that particular attempt to access your network or whether your outbound attempt is malicious or not.
What emerging threats pose the greatest risk to mobile users today?
Well, I think when you think about your own use of the internet, consider that most of your routines are connected to the internet these days. Most of what you do, how you access information, how you store files, your pictures, your taxes, all of that is somehow connected to the internet. And now your home is probably full of cameras as well, there to help you kind of see what's up when you're not at home, right? But, so from privacy to your important data to some very important experiences, a lot of that is becoming disrupted. There are financial reasons to do so. Normally, people are, the bad guys. They're focused on there are two reasons why they're focused on your network. So reason number one is your data has a price in the black market. So we heard all about it. Whenever the big companies get hacked, we hear about credit cards stolen, we hear about files being stolen. Same thing is happening on a micro level per user. So that's one reason, one sort of threat. The second threat is, which may impact you personally less, but people hack our devices in general, to mine cryptocurrencies or to send bots from your devices to attack larger corporations. And the net effect for you is that they use up more of your electricity, but more importantly, they slow down your network. So think of risks as either harming your network performance and or potentially taking some files that are sensitive and private to you, stealing them.
How did you build your underlying AI data set to identify malicious traffic?
We started with a consumer proposition. So we did not begin working with the largest telcos from the get-go. We actually built a CUJO firewall, a little device, a hardware device that was complementary to your router. We marketed that for the first couple of years of our existence. We sold it at major retailers across the US and Europe, and we developed a fairly large user base, which helped us perfect our features to where they are today.
Explain why DNS-based solutions will become less effective.
Well, first of all, as a hacker does not need to use DNS. There are many other protocols to establish a connection. Secondly, increasingly, companies like Android and Firefox are encrypting DNS. Cloudflare is encrypting DNS. So if you are relying on DNS as a data point, it simply becomes invisible to you. So what CUJO does is it looks at many more data points, non-intrusive, not private data points, metadata effectively. Much of it is behavioral type of data, and interprets those instead of DNS to make a decision.
Is there anything that IoT device owners can do to improve the security of the devices they already have?
Yeah, so first, buy reputable brands. I don't want to name them, but all the popular brands that you all know about, and that CNET and all the other reputable publications cover, focus on that, buy those, trust them. Those are the type of companies that can afford to invest in security and cannot afford for their devices to be hacked. On the other spectrum, there's a long tail of devices from unknown companies, $30 cheaper. Those companies, their business models simply do not allow for hardening software, hardening their devices against hackers. So that's number one. It's probably the easiest thing to do. Secondly, update your firmware of your IoT devices. Now, I say it with hesitation because I have 40 maybe devices in my home. I rely on CUJO to protect me. I don't know if I'm going to go and update 40 firmwares out there. And part of the challenge is even if I do, I cannot update driver firmware, etc. Things that are built and they come as they are and they can't even be updated against vulnerabilities. So the unfortunate reality is whether it's CUJO on your network or some other competing technology, a network layer, a line layer security is quite important to complete your security kind of perimeter.
What will GDPR mean for network operators, and what benefits will it bring to the cybersecurity landscape?
Well, it creates a framework of rules how to handle private data. Before GDPR, certainly there's been regulation, but I believe that regulation hasn't really caught up with the massive change that was brought about by IoT devices, by social media. So it establishes the rule book, what type of data should be collected, how it should be stored, how it should travel through borders. I think there's now clarity. So for a company like CUJO, where we do work with European operators, it established a clear rule set to go by. We're huge proponents of privacy, and we're very glad that GDPR exists.
Einaras Gravrock, CEO at CUJO AI, keeping us safe, whether it's 40 devices or 4. Thanks again. If somebody wants to connect with you, how can they go about doing that?
My email is evg@cujo.com. That's probably the easiest way. I'm on Twitter at Einaras. Follow me, and I'm very accessible and available.
Thanks again. And if you guys want to find me and more of my interviews, you can do that right here on ZDNet or Tech Republic, or maybe go to my website, tonyahall.net. I've got links to all my social sites. Thanks for watching.